she messaged me coldly, "I'll be with my ex tonight." I simply said, "Okay," and the next day, she lost control right in front of me. Looking back, I should have seen the warning signs the moment that engagement ring touched her finger. But love has a way of making you blind to the obvious. I'm Trevor, 28, union plumber in Atlanta, making 75 grand with overtime. Nothing fancy, but honest work that pays the bills. I'd been with Olivia for nearly 3 years. She was 25, managing social media for local businesses, always glued to her phone capturing the perfect moment. When I proposed at her favorite rooftop restaurant, I'd saved for months for that custom princess cut ring. 4 months' salary, $11,000. The moment she said yes, she pulled out her phone and spent the next hour filming TikTok videos from every angle. 23 videos before our appetizers arrived. "This is going to get so many views," she squealed, watching the likes roll in. I should have noticed she was celebrating the ring, not us. The change started within days. "You should start covering my rent," she announced casually over coffee. "We're engaged now. We're basically married. It doesn't make sense for me to pay for my own place." Her Midtown studio was $1,400 monthly. "We haven't discussed moving in together," I pointed out. "Exactly, so you can afford mine too. What's the point of having a plumber boyfriend if he can't help with expenses?" Oh, that word bothered me, but I let it slide. Then came the car demand. "We need to upgrade your Honda," she said, scrolling through luxury SUV listings. "For our future family's image. I'm thinking Range Rover, maybe 65,000. I actually laughed because I thought she was joking. She wasn't. "That's my annual salary. For a car. So? You can finance it. Everyone does." Enter Danielle, Olivia's recently divorced best friend who worked reception at a dental office and seemed determined to poison every relationship around her. "Danielle says you should pay for everything wedding-related," Olivia informed me one evening. "She says that's what real men do." Danielle started joining our dinners, always at expensive restaurants, always ordering the priciest items, always with opinions about what I should be doing differently. "Trevor, that venue you suggested? Olivia deserves way better than that historic place. She needs something Instagram-worthy." The wedding planning became my nightmare. Olivia quit her job to focus on becoming a wife, which meant spending days planning an increasingly elaborate wedding while I paid for everything. She moved into my apartment without asking, treating it like a luxury hotel where she expected service. My $2,800 apartment became a disaster zone of her makeup, clothes, and demands. "Can you make me breakfast before work?" Not cereal, actual breakfast. Danielle's ex used to make fresh squeezed juice every morning. I'd wake at 5:30 for job sites, work 12-hour days in crawl spaces, come home exhausted to find Olivia on the couch surrounded by wedding magazines, annoyed I hadn't picked up dinner from whatever trendy restaurant she'd texted about. 8 weeks before our wedding, she dropped the bomb. "I'm taking a bachelorette cruise. 10 days in the Caribbean with Danielle and 6 friends." "The wedding is in 2 months," I said, looking at our budget spreadsheet. "I've already paid $15,000 in deposits. This is my last taste of freedom before being permanently tied down to domesticity," she said, like marrying me was a prison sentence. When I objected, she accused me of being controlling. The argument with Danielle on speakerphone was surreal. "Trevor, this is textbook abuse. Trying to isolate your victim," Danielle lectured. "You're just like every other man who wants to trap a woman." I suggested postponing the wedding if Olivia couldn't show basic respect. She lost it completely, screaming about sabotaging her special day, throwing things around the apartment. "Maybe we should call the whole thing off." "Maybe we should," I said quietly. Her face went pure shock. She couldn't believe I wasn't backing down. She grabbed her designer bag and started shoving in her expensive beauty products. "When you're ready to apologize for being a controlling psychopath, maybe I'll consider coming back." She slammed the door hard enough that my neighbor checked if everything was okay. That was Tuesday evening. By Friday, I hadn't heard a single word from her. 3 days of complete silence. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't worried at first, but then I remembered how she'd clutched her phone while storming out. She was fine, just waiting for me to break first, to come crawling back with apologies and promises to fund whatever she wanted. I didn't break. Those 3 days were the most peaceful I'd had in months. No passive-aggressive comments about my basic furniture, no complaints about how boring I was. Wednesday, I ordered pizza and watched the game without someone sighing about how sports were stupid. Thursday, I worked late fixing a burst pipe at a downtown office building, and nobody demanded I pick up overpriced takeout. Thursday evening, I was home by 8, showered, settled on my couch with a beer watching the Hawks game. My phone buzzed during the fourth quarter. I almost ignored it, figured it was probably work. But something made me check. The message was from Olivia. No, hey, no, can we talk? Just 9 words that made my blood run cold. Staying at Cameron's place tonight. Don't wait up. I read it 3 times. Cameron, her college ex-boyfriend she'd always claimed was just a friend. The corporate finance guy who made snide comments about my blue-collar career. So you're a plumber? That's practical, he'd said once, his tone dripping with condescension. And Olivia was staying at his place. Not asking if it was okay, not explaining, commanding me. Don't wait up, like I was her father, not her fiancé. My first instinct was to call her, to drive over there and confront them. That's exactly what she wanted, the drama, the proof that I couldn't handle her having male friends, confirmation of Danielle's narrative that I was controlling. She wanted me to react like a jealous boyfriend so she could play the victim. I stared at that message, feeling something shift inside me. Crystal clear clarity. This woman, wearing my $11,000 ring, had just announced she was spending the night at another man's apartment and told me to accept it. The disrespect was breathtaking. I took a deep breath and typed one word, okay. Hit send, put my phone face down and turned back to the game. The Hawks won in overtime, and I actually enjoyed it. After the final buzzer, I stood up and looked around my apartment. Olivia's stuff was everywhere. Makeup in the bathroom, clothes on furniture, shoes by the door, expensive skincare products in my medicine cabinet, designer bags on my closet door, her succulent collection on the windowsill. If she was choosing Cameron's place, she didn't need to be here anymore. I started packing. Methodically, carefully, I wrapped her $80 serums in bubble wrap, organized her designer clothes by season, even watered her succulents one last time. This wasn't revenge, this was self-respect. Around midnight, I called my buddy Leo, an ER nurse who happened to live in Cameron's building. I need Cameron's exact apartment number. Do I? Wait, is this about Olivia? She's staying there tonight. I'm returning her belongings. Penthouse 2801, Leo said after a pause. But Trevor, you should know, Cameron's got a serious girlfriend who travels for work. He's a manipulator who gets off on humiliating other men. He's about to get a delivery he wasn't expecting. I loaded my truck and made 5 trips between 1 a.m. and 4 a.m., stacking Olivia's belongings outside Cameron's penthouse door. 14 boxes, professionally organized and labeled. On my final trip, I attached a note. Since you've chosen his place, I've made the transition easier. Best wishes for your future. The sun was rising as I drove home. I stopped at a hardware store and bought new smart locks with cameras, been meaning to upgrade anyway. By 6 a.m., they were installed, every trace of Olivia removed from my space. I made breakfast, scrambled eggs and toast, the simple meal she would have turned her nose at, and ate in peaceful silence. Then I went to bed and slept better than I had in 6 months. My apartment felt like mine again, a space where I could breathe without walking on eggshells. No more expensive products cluttering surfaces, no more designer clothes taking up closet space, no more passive-aggressive notes about things I'd supposedly done wrong. Just peace and the absolute certainty that I'd made the right choice. Friday morning, 7:30 a.m., my phone exploded. Olivia's name flashing over and over. I let every call go to voicemail while making French press coffee, taking my time. Then came the texts. Where is all my stuff? Trevor, answer your phone. This is illegal. I'm calling the police. You psycho. I sipped my coffee and checked my new security camera footage instead. Crystal clear view of Olivia pounding on my door, face red with rage, still wearing last night's wrinkled dress, makeup smeared, hair a complete mess. She looked absolutely unhinged. "Trevor! I know you're in there. Open this door." Her screaming echoed through the hallway. I could see neighbors' doors cracking open. 25 minutes of this, pounding, screaming, threatening. I started making Belgian waffles from scratch, something I hadn't had time for in months. Finally, I walked to the door and opened it with the chain lock fastened. "Good morning." She looked worse up close, mascara streaked, lipstick smeared, eyes wild. "What the hell is wrong with you? This is insane. This is illegal." I didn't throw anything on the street. I carefully packed everything and delivered it to Cameron's residence. "The address you texted from." "You? I can't, my key doesn't work." "Correct. I upgraded the locks. Security is important. You can't lock me out of my own home." "Your home? Only my name is on the lease. I pay $2,800 monthly. You've never contributed $1. We're engaged. We live together. You stayed here as a guest. A guest who last night informed me she was spending the night at another man's apartment. So I helped facilitate your transition." Her face went purple. "It wasn't like that. You're twisting everything. You sent me a text saying, 'Staying at Cameron's place tonight. Don't wait up.' Those were your exact words. I needed a place after you upset me. Cameron has a nice place, apparently. Problem solved. Let me in right now." Adults don't announce they're spending the night at their ex's place via text. Adults contribute to household expenses. Adults don't treat partners like ATMs. I never. You literally called me your financial safety net." She opened her mouth, closed it. Her eyes darted around searching for arguments. "I made a mistake, okay? I was upset. Danielle was in my ear. Cameron was just being a friend." "Great. Be friends at his place." This is abuse. Financial abuse. The irony was profound. I'm simply no longer funding your lifestyle while you disrespect me. I want my key back. I want into my apartment or I'm calling my lawyer. Please do. I'd love to hear what they say about tenant rights when you've never paid rent, never signed a lease, and chose to abandon the residence to spend the night with your ex. That's when she seemed to realize she had no legal standing. "Fine. But I need my things from inside. I packed everything." "You didn't pack everything. You probably hid things just to torture me. If you're missing something, perhaps you left it at Cameron's." "Stop saying his name like that. Nothing happened." "I don't care if something happened. You made your choice. I respected it." She started crying, real, ugly crying. "This isn't how this was supposed to go. You were supposed to." She stopped. "I was supposed to what? Beg you to come back? Promise to be a better Aiden? You were supposed to love me." "I did love you. Past tense. The woman I loved wouldn't have treated me like a wallet with legs." She grabbed the door chain. "Please. I'm sorry. I'll change. Just let me in." "No." "What do you mean, no?" "We're done, Olivia. You don't get to disappear for 3 days, tell me you're staying at your ex's place, and demand entry when it doesn't work out. How I planned. What are you talking about? You wanted me to chase you. To prove I needed you. Well, I didn't chase. And now you're panicked." Her face confirmed everything. "That's not, I wasn't, you're insane. I'm not the one screaming in a hallway at 8 a.m. in last night's clothes. Because you made me homeless. You made yourself homeless when you chose Cameron's penthouse. I didn't choose his penthouse. I was just staying there because..." She stopped, realizing every word dug deeper. "It doesn't matter. You've locked me out illegally. Looking forward to your lawsuit. Now excuse me, I have waffles to finish." I started closing the door. She jammed her foot in. "I have nowhere to go." "Why not go back there?" "I can't go back there." Her silence was deafening. "Move your foot." "Not until you let me in. I'm calling security." She pulled back immediately but stood glaring. "You're going to regret this. Everyone will know what kind of man you are." "A man with self-respect? Sounds good." I closed the door, listening to her scream obscenities for another few minutes. I went back to my waffles. They turned out perfect. I was pouring syrup when my phone rang. Unknown number. Trevor? This is Nicole. Cameron's girlfriend. I think we need to talk. Nicole was a pediatric surgeon, brilliant, successful, completely out of Cameron's league. She'd been at a medical conference in San Francisco when she got a weird feeling and came home a day early. I walked into our penthouse at 6 a.m. and found a strange woman in my kitchen, cooking breakfast, wearing Cameron's shirt like she owned the place, Nicole said, her voice tight with controlled anger. She introduced herself as Cameron's close friend having a mental health crisis who desperately needed emergency shelter. The boxes outside our door told a different story. I explained everything: the engagement, the transformation, the text message, my one-word response, my decision to pack her things. So she told you she was staying here, didn't tell Cameron I existed, and thought this would work out? Nicole asked. That's about it. The screaming match was spectacular. Building security threatened to call police. I kicked them both out. Cameron can stay at a hotel. Olivia can rot for all I care. She grabbed some boxes and called someone named Danielle, crying about how evil men conspired to destroy her life. Of course, Danielle. We talked for 20 minutes. Nicole told me about Cameron's history of pursuing taken women, how he got off on winning them away from their partners. He probably saw you as a challenge. Blue-collar guy with a beautiful girlfriend. Cameron would have loved proving he could take her from you. Well, he's welcome to her. Trust me, he doesn't want her now. The moment she became a liability instead of a conquest, he couldn't wait to get rid of her. Monday morning, my phone rang. Unknown number. Trevor? This is Robert, Olivia's father. I need to speak with you. Can you meet me at your apartment building in an hour? An hour later, Robert walked into my lobby, followed by Patricia, Olivia's mother. Robert looked tired in his old firefighter polo and jeans. Patricia was dressed for a country club, full makeup, designer bag, heels clicking aggressively. Robert accepted coffee. Patricia immediately attacked. Do you have any idea what you've done? She's devastated. This is emotional abuse, financial abuse. Patricia, Robert said quietly. Let me handle this. Don't tell me to calm down. Our daughter is suffering because, I said, let me handle this. His voice was firmer. Patricia huffed but went silent. Show me the text message, Robert said. I pulled out my phone. He read it carefully, jaw tightening. And this Cameron is her ex-boyfriend? Yes, sir. She always said they were just friends. Robert looked at Patricia. What exactly were you expecting Trevor to do when he received this? That's not the point. He illegally evicted her from his apartment where her name isn't on the lease and she never paid rent. Robert's eyes stayed on my phone. Where she was living as a guest? She was his fiancée. They were building a life. A life where she announced she was spending the night at another man's place? Robert looked at me. You paid for everything, didn't you? Yes, sir. Rent, utilities, groceries, her car payment, credit cards, wedding expenses. Everything. How much monthly? Around $3,200, not including dinners and other expenses. Patricia gasped. That's not, she never said. That's exactly the point, Robert said. Patricia, our daughter was using this man as a bank account while stepping out with her ex. You don't know anything happened. She told her fiancé she was staying overnight at another man's apartment. What else matters? Robert turned to me. I'm sorry, son. Truly sorry. You didn't deserve this. The apology caught me off guard. Thank you, sir. I'm ashamed of how my daughter behaved. Her mother and I raised her better than this. He handed me a business card. If she causes legal trouble, call me. I won't support her destroying a good man's life because she made selfish choices. Patricia looked ready to explode. Robert, you can't possibly. I absolutely can. I will not enable our daughter's entitled behavior. She made her bed, quite literally at Cameron's place, and now she can lie in it. He stood. Trevor, you seem like a decent man who got caught up in my daughter's crisis of character. That evening, my phone exploded with social media notifications. Olivia had posted a photo of herself crying with a long caption about how I'd violently kicked her out for innocently talking to a male friend, and how she was genuinely afraid for her physical safety. The comments were predictable. Men are trash. This is why women don't feel safe. Report this abuser. Danielle shared it with her own commentary. Textbook narcissistic abuse. He isolated her, controlled her finances, and when she tried to have healthy friendships, he punished her. My name was tagged. My workplace was tagged. It was a coordinated campaign to destroy my reputation. People I didn't know were commenting, calling me abusive, threatening to contact my employer. Someone created #JusticeForOlivia. It was trending locally within hours. I posted one thing. One screenshot of Olivia's message, staying at Cameron's place tonight. Don't wait up. No caption. Just facts. Within 30 minutes, the tide turned. Wait, she told him she was staying at her ex's and expected him to be okay with it? That doesn't sound like an innocent friendship. Why is everyone acting like he's the villain? Then Nicole posted. She didn't hold back. Photos of boxes outside her door at 4 a.m., screenshots of Cameron's lies, full explanation of finding Olivia in her home wearing Cameron's clothes. This woman showed up at my home acting like she belonged there. She had 14 boxes delivered at 4 a.m. My boyfriend lied to me. Now she's claiming she was just talking to a friend. This is calculated manipulation, and Trevor had every right to remove her belongings. Nicole's post went viral. #JusticeForOlivia became a joke. By midnight, Olivia had deleted her post. But screenshots were everywhere. Her attempt to destroy me had backfired spectacularly. I should have felt vindicated. Instead, I just felt exhausted. Tuesday morning, I woke to 17 missed calls and 43 texts. All fraud alerts. Someone had tried to open 5 different credit cards in my name, attempted to access my PayPal account, tried to transfer $8,200 from my savings, and applied for a $25,000 personal loan. All between 2 a.m. and 8 a.m. I called my bank immediately. We've flagged all attempts as suspicious and denied them, the fraud department said. We're running a trace on the IP addresses. I knew exactly who had my information. Olivia knew my social security number, my security questions, all the information we'd shared when planning a future together. We'll need you to file a police report. By noon, I had the documentation. The banks traced the IP address to Danielle's apartment where Olivia was staying. They'd used security question answers only Olivia would know. The loan application had my employment information perfectly accurate, down to my union local number. She tried to steal from me. Not just emotionally anymore, but actual criminal fraud. I called the lawyer my dad had recommended, who referred me to Gabriela Rodriguez, a fierce attorney specializing in cyber harassment and identity theft. Gabriela was maybe 5'2" but radiated intensity. Tell me everything, she said, pulling out a legal pad. After hearing my story, she smiled, not friendly, but predatory. We're going to have fun with this. We file police reports for identity theft, wire fraud, attempted financial crimes, cyberstalking. Then cease and desist letters to everyone involved in the harassment campaign. But here's the really interesting part. Gabriela leaned forward. The engagement ring. She still has it, right? $11,000. I have receipts, appraisal, insurance documentation. Perfect. In Georgia, engagement rings are conditional gifts. When the recipient breaks the engagement, which she clearly did, the ring must be returned. It's not hers to keep. She'll never give it back. Then we demand it legally. 48 hours to return it, or we add felony theft charges to her growing list. Wednesday afternoon, Gabriela's documents were delivered. Police reports filed. Cease and desist letters sent. Formal demand for the ring within 48 hours. Olivia's response was immediate, screaming voicemails about how the ring was compensation for the severe emotional damages and trauma she suffered from my abuse. Gabriela laughed. She just admitted she has the ring and refuses to return it. That's theft. Thursday morning, my private investigator called with news. She didn't lose the ring. She sold it yesterday afternoon, 3 hours after you sent that "okay" text. Went to a jewelry buyer in Buckhead and sold your $11,000 ring for $3,200 cash. My blood ran cold. I've got the receipt, security footage, everything. The PI continued. But here's where it gets interesting. She'd been planning the Cameron thing for at least 6 weeks. He sent me screenshots. Messages between Olivia and Cameron. He's so boring, always working. You make me feel alive. When are you going to leave him? We could have so much fun together. I need to make him jealous first. Then he'll do anything I want. And worst, tomorrow night. I'll stay at your place, send him a message. He'll freak out and come begging. Men like him always do. Then I can get everything I want. The wedding, the house, everything. There was even a conversation with Danielle. What if he just lets you go? He won't. He's too in love. Too invested. He'll panic and promise me the world. And if he doesn't? Then I still have Cameron as a backup. Either way, I win. The calculated cruelty took my breath away. This was planned, coordinated manipulation. She'd orchestrated everything, never considering I might have enough self-respect to walk away. Friday afternoon, the 48-hour deadline passed. No ring. Gabriella filed felony theft charges, property over $10,000. The district attorney's office, armed with overwhelming evidence, decided to make an example. Saturday morning, Olivia was arrested. Danielle posted the doorbell camera footage, police at 6 a.m., reading Olivia her rights while she screamed about false charges. Danielle shrieking about police brutality. The video went viral, with people mocking Olivia's victim act. She tried to steal his identity and now she's surprised? Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. The bail hearing was Monday. Gabriella reported back. Her public defender tried the devastated woman scorned defense. The prosecutor presented your timeline, the fraud evidence, the premeditated planning. Judge set bail at $75,000. Her father paid it. Robert had called that morning, apologizing. I can't leave her in jail, but I told her I won't pay for her legal defense. She made this mess, she can clean it up. Patricia left me an unhinged voicemail about destroying her baby's life, threatening lawsuits. Gabriella filed a restraining order against Patricia too. The harassment continued. Olivia tried contacting my job with false complaints, my family with lies. My union rep laughed them off. These complaints are obviously bogus. My sister posted on Facebook when Olivia tried to friend her. My brother is the kindest man I know. The fact that you're trying to weaponize our family tells me everything about your character. Leave us alone. A month later, I heard Olivia had lost her social media job. Clients discovered her criminal charges and unhinged online behavior. Nobody wanted someone that unstable managing their brand. She was unemployable in her field. Robert told me quietly, she's moved to her sister's basement in Marietta, working retail for minimum wage. Patricia wants me to bail her out financially, but I won't. She needs to face consequences. The legal process ground on. Restraining orders approved. Criminal charges building. Gabriella predicted she'd plea out. The evidence was overwhelming. Probably probation, restitution, community service. But it'll be on her record forever, felony conviction. I should have felt satisfied. Instead, I just felt tired. Tired of drama, tired of legal battles, tired of thinking about Olivia at all. I wanted to move on, to find someone who valued me for who I was. That's when I met Harper. I met Harper at my buddy Leo's engagement party, 6 months after Olivia's arrest. She was the photographer. Real estate photography was her main business, events on the side. I noticed her immediately, not because she was trying to be noticed, but because she had this calm, focused energy. She was setting up shots, completely absorbed in her work. Professional, competent, quietly excellent. That's Harper, Leo said. She photographed my new condo. Made it look like Architectural Digest. When she accidentally bumped into me backing up for a shot, she apologized genuinely. I'm so sorry. I get tunnel vision when working. Are you okay? Completely fine. I'm Trevor. Harper. Nice to meet you. Her smile was real, not calculating, not manipulative, just warm. We talked during her breaks. She told me about photographing luxury homes for nitpicky clients. I told her about crawling under houses at 3 a.m. fixing burst pipes. You know what I love about plumbing? She said. It's honest work. A pipe works or it doesn't. No subjective opinions, no client deciding the water pressure doesn't match their vision. We exchanged numbers. Started texting about work frustrations, eventually about everything else. On our first official date, she insisted on splitting the check. Trevor, I invited you because I wanted to spend time with you, not because I needed a free meal. Harper had her own successful business, owned her condo, drove a paid-off Subaru, had actual savings. She didn't need me for money, she wanted me for me. The contrast was staggering. Our relationship developed slowly, naturally. She got genuinely excited about my work stories, asking intelligent questions. People don't realize how much knowledge goes into plumbing. The physics, problem-solving, building codes. It's not just fixing leaks. Most people just see the dirty work. Well, most people are idiots who don't appreciate skilled trades. My dad was an electrician. He always said people don't value what they don't understand. When I told her about Olivia, she listened without judgment. That sounds incredibly painful. I'm sorry you went through that. Not blame, just empathy. The legal stuff is still ongoing. Restraining orders, criminal charges, civil suits. It's complicated and messy. So, every relationship comes with history. As long as you're not still in love with her, I can handle complicated. Gano. That feeling died when she sent me that text. Then we're fine. I'm not afraid of your ex or her legal problems. 3 months into dating Harper, the legal situation resolved. The DA offered Olivia a plea deal, guilty plea to 3 felony counts, identity theft, wire fraud, theft of property over $10,000. In exchange, she'd avoid prison but serve 18 months probation, pay full restitution, complete 200 hours community service, and maintain a restraining order keeping her 500 feet from me. She took the deal, Gabriella called. You're officially free. What about the ring money? She has to pay back the full $11,000 in monthly installments. Miss a payment, she violates probation and goes to jail. It was over. Actually over. I took Harper out to celebrate. To new beginnings, she said, raising her glass. To honest relationships and women who pay for their own drinks, I added. She laughed. Setting the bar pretty low there, Morrison. After what I've been through, that bar is exactly where it needs to be. We were planning a weekend trip to Savannah when I got the notification. Olivia had discovered my relationship with Harper. The harassment started again. Emails from new accounts, messages from fake profiles, all saying the same things. You're really going to replace me with some basic photographer? She's not even that attractive. You're settling, Trevor. I showed Harper the messages. She read them and laughed. She called me basic? Have you seen her Instagram? All duck face selfies and quotes about knowing your worth. She handed back my phone. Block her. Don't engage. She wants a reaction. Doesn't it bother you? That your criminal ex is jealous? It's actually flattering. She clearly sees me as a threat, which means you chose well. When Olivia created a fake Google review for Harper's business, Harper reported it and got it removed within hours. When Olivia spread rumors, Harper just shrugged. People who know you won't believe it. People who don't know you don't matter. The final straw came at Leo's wedding, beautiful ceremony in Roswell, 80 guests. Harper was my date, looking stunning in a navy dress. I was talking with Marcus when I saw her. Olivia. Uninvited, disheveled, too much makeup, completely inappropriate dress. She was intoxicated, I could tell from her unsteady walk, loud talking, wild eyes. Oh hell no, Marcus said. Did she crash Leo's wedding? Harper appeared at my side. Is that her? Yeah. And she's drunk. Before I could respond, Olivia spotted us. Her face contorted with rage and she started stumbling toward us. Trevor, we need to talk. We really don't, I said, putting myself between her and Harper. You're violating your restraining order. Leave. I'm not leaving until you hear me out. I don't owe you anything. Leave before I call police. She tried to push past me to get to Harper. This is your fault. You stole him. He was mine. He's not property, Harper said calmly. And you lost him when you chose to disrespect him. What would you know? You're nobody. Just some basic woman he settled for. Leo rushed over with security. Olivia's voice got louder, more desperate. I love you, Trevor. It was all a mistake. Please, baby, please just give me another chance. She was crying, mascara streaming, reaching for me. Pathetic and sad, but not my problem anymore. Olivia, you need to leave. Now. No. Tell them we're engaged. Tell them you love me. We're not engaged. I don't love you. And you're violating probation. Her face went pale as she realized what she'd done. No, this can't be happening. I just wanted to talk. Security escorted her out screaming. I'm the victim here. The guests were shocked, whispering. Harper squeezed my hand. You okay? Just embarrassed she ruined Leo's wedding. She didn't ruin anything. She made it more memorable. Police arrived 15 minutes later. Olivia had tried to fight security, adding assault charges to the probation violation. She was arrested in the parking lot, screaming about injustice while being handcuffed. Gabriella called Monday. She violated probation spectacularly. The DA is asking for maximum 18 months in prison. Prison? For crashing a wedding? For violating court orders, harassment, trespassing, and assault. Pattern of continued harassment. Judge won't be lenient. The sentencing was 2 weeks later. 18 months. Minimum security, but still prison. She'll serve at least 12 months with good behavior. I felt nothing. No satisfaction, just relief it was finally over. A year later, I proposed to Harper. Nothing elaborate. We were at Stone Mountain after a day of rock climbing, watching the sunset, and it just felt right. I pulled out the ring I'd been carrying for 2 weeks. Harper, you make everything better. Will you marry me? She looked at the simple sapphire ring, her favorite stone, then at me and smiled. Yes. Obviously yes. We took one picture, posted it with a simple caption. She said yes. No 23 videos, no elaborate staging, just happiness. The comments were overwhelmingly positive. And buried in notifications, from a number I didn't recognize, congratulations. She looks lovely. I hope you're happy. I knew it was Olivia, out on parole, living in a halfway house in Marietta, working retail, trying to rebuild. I didn't respond. There was nothing left to say. We got married 6 months later, small ceremony, family and close friends, nothing Instagram-worthy. Just real celebration. Harper's dad, a retired electrician, gave a toast that made everyone cry. When Harper brought Trevor home, I knew within 5 minutes he was the one. Not because of what he had, but because of how he looked at my daughter, like she was the most fascinating person in the world. That's what love should be. Not transactions or scorekeeping, but genuine appreciation. We bought a house in Decatur, solid 3-bedroom craftsman that needed work. I handled plumbing upgrades, Harper transformed it with her design eye. We built equity together, made decisions together, split expenses based on income in a way that felt fair. She never asked me to cover things I couldn't afford. I never resented contributing to our shared life. It was everything my relationship with Olivia never was: partnership, equality, respect. Harper's photography business flourished. She started teaching workshops, opened a small studio. I made master plumber, then started my own contracting business. We were both successful, both contributing, both building something together. I heard about Olivia occasionally. She'd moved to Nashville, trying to start fresh. Working a different field, keeping her head down, allegedly in therapy. Robert called once, 2 years after the wedding. Trevor, I hope it's okay I'm calling. Of course. How are you? Good. Patricia and I actually divorced. Her enabling of Olivia was something we couldn't get past. I wanted to tell you Olivia's doing better. Intensive therapy, taking real responsibility. She asked me to apologize on her behalf. That's good to hear. She knows she destroyed something real. Knows what she lost. It took years to accept, but she finally understands her actions had consequences. I appreciate you telling me. You seem happy. I saw Harper's wedding photos. She's lovely. She is. I'm very lucky. No, Trevor. She's lucky. You're a good man. I'm just sorry my daughter couldn't see it until too late. 3 years after my engagement to Olivia imploded, Harper and I were expecting our first child. We converted the smallest bedroom into a nursery, painted it soft yellow, filled it with refinished furniture. No designer everything, just practical preparation. I was installing a new sink when my phone buzzed. A known number. Trevor? Olivia. I hadn't heard her voice in 3 years. It sounded different, smaller, less confident. Olivia. I know I'm not supposed to contact you, but I saw the pregnancy announcement and I needed to call. To say congratulations. And to apologize. Really apologize. I waited. I was horrible to you. Treated you like an ATM instead of a human being. Took advantage of your kindness. Tried to manipulate you, and when you had self-respect to walk away, I tried to destroy you. Yeah. You did. I don't expect forgiveness. I just wanted you to know I understand now what I lost. Not the financial support or wedding. I lost a good man who genuinely loved me. Harper's lucky. Your kid's going to have an amazing dad. And I'm genuinely happy for you, even though I have no right to be part of your happiness. Thank you for saying that. I'm in therapy. Real therapy, 3 times a week. Working through why I thought love was about what someone could give me instead of who they were. It's hard. Seeing what I threw away. Olivia, I hope you find peace. I hope you find someone who makes you want to be better. I hope you learn real love isn't about keeping score. I hope so too. I should go. Just wanted to say congratulations and I'm sorry. Really sorry. Take care of yourself. Our daughter was born 3 months later. We named her Claire, after Harper's grandmother. Holding her in the hospital, I thought about the path that led here. If Olivia hadn't sent that text, if I hadn't responded with dignity instead of desperation, if I hadn't had enough self-respect to pack her things and change my locks, none of this would exist. Sometimes the worst betrayal leads to the best outcome. Sometimes what feels like an ending is actually a beginning. Sometimes the trash takes itself out, and all you have to do is not chase after it. I heard years later Olivia married someone. A teacher, apparently, someone with a kind heart who saw past her mistakes. I genuinely hoped it worked out. But honestly, I didn't think about her much anymore. My life was too full of real things. Harper's laugh, Claire's first steps, the house we were building, the business I was growing, the future we were creating. Olivia was just a cautionary tale now, a reminder of what happens when you confuse love with transactions, when you mistake kindness for weakness, when you try to manipulate instead of appreciate. The greatest revenge wasn't hatred or vindictiveness. It was building a genuinely happy life with someone who deserved you. And the greatest peace was not needing that revenge at all. Just living well, loving honestly, and being grateful for the bullet you dodged. Sometimes all you need to say is, okay. And then walk away with your dignity intact. The rest takes care of itself.